Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time it's another DVD and Blu-ray update. I got a few DVDs and Blu-rays that I got fairly recently. I thought I'd show you guys, and so let's get started, shall we? Now the first three here are three DVDs that I got from a Facebook group. There was this guy who was selling these DVDs, and they were some titles that were actually pretty hard to find, and he was selling them for a one-time only super low price. So I got a few of them. I originally bought 5, but I only received 3 in the mail because apparently somebody at the mail office, somebody at the post office that this guy dropped these packages off apparently is stealing stuff. So I ended up not getting 2 of the DVDs that I ordered because the package arrived wide open in my mailbox, and there was 3 DVDs instead of the 5 that I bought from this seller. I'm not blaming the seller. I don't think it's his fault. I think this falls under the category of shit happens, and it's unfortunate, but he's going to do whatever he can to get a refund or get some sort of a reimbursement for me. He's going to talk to the post office headmaster on Monday and see what happens, and we're going to see where it goes from there. The titles that I didn't get were The Company of Wolves and the Amicus anthology film Asylum. But out of the 3 that I did receive, I got the 2 titles that I wanted the most. So it ended up working out in the end, despite the less than desirable circumstances. I got Martin, George Romero's Martin, which is going to be the next review on my channel. Is going to be of this film, this underrated gem from Romero. This is an out-of-print DVD that's pretty hard to find, and I got it for $5. So, you know, and I kind of find it's kind of funny. I kind of laugh at the fact that there's a guy who's at the post office and he's stealing DVDs, but he is a dumbass because he didn't steal the one that's worth the most. This goes for over $40, if not even more than that, used on Amazon and eBay. So, yeah. And I have a copy of this in storage in Michigan, and I might have this somewhere here, but I don't think I do, because if I do, it must be somewhere else in a bunch of other bins or something. It's hard. It's hard for me to keep track of how many movies I have in my collection, what I have, what I don't sometimes, because I have so much. I really need to do an inventory someday, but that would be like an all-day thing. The other DVD that I wanted that was a good deal was the Boogens DVD. I've been wanting this DVD or the Blu-ray ever since it came out, so glad to have this finally. It was one of the last DVDs, one of the first DVDs I put on my wish list on Amazon, and finally I have it. The Anchor Bay release of Fantastic Planet, which is a pretty trippy but really interesting and well-made animated movie. I know Criterion did a release of this recently, but I'm okay with the Anchor Bay release for the time being. So 3 out of 5 ain't bad, especially when it comes to getting Martin and the Boogens. Or the Boogens, or however you say it. I had also got a couple DVDs from a fan of the podcast Uncovering Unexplained Mysteries. She sent me her name is Diana, and she sent me a PM on my Facebook page asking me about any DVDs that I might want that she's getting rid of. And all I would have to do is pay shipping. Well, the first one I saw was the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I wanted to upgrade my VHS. I like the original poster art more than this. It looks like they're trying to make it look like Twilight, and I don't really care for that. It's not as bad as the Near Dark DVD release and Blu-ray release cover, but it saps all this color out of it, and it's not really the greatest looking cover art. But then she told me, and this is one of my favorite DVD deals or purchases as of late, and I got it for a steal. and that is Undercover Blues, which is an underrated, overlooked action comedy with Kathleen Turner and Dennis Quaid. And I'd been wanting this on DVD ever since I saw it on VHS, but then for some reason the DVD was extremely expensive, at least over $20 used. So thanks to Diana, who was getting rid of her DVDs, and this was among the titles. It wasn't among the first stack that she showed me, but she just showed me a picture of this and was like, "Do you want it?" And I'm like, "Absolutely! Yeah, I want Undercover Blues." So thank you, Diana, for the gifts, and hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful rest of your month. Here are some DVDs I got from the Salvation Army. My stepdad actually got them for me. The Last Days of Frank and Jesse James. I'm not a big Western guy, but I mean, for the cast, Johnny Cash, Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, and it's an upgrade to my VHS of the film. A movie called Deadly Justice, which is an alternate title for I think it's a movie called The Rape of some character. Yeah, The Rape of a character played by Richard Crenna. Now, I want to look it up real quick, because I know it, and know that's really what the title is, and I can see why they didn't want to, you know. Oh, let's put The Rape of some guy on the cover for a DVD that's basically the type of thing you see in the dollar store. Yeah, The Rape of Richard Beck. So, which is the actual title, which is the title of the film when it came out on TV, but on DVD here it's Deadly Justice. I got it for the Richard Crenna collection, and it's probably just a VHS rip, but you know, it's probably the closest you're going to get this on DVD, so I'm glad I picked that up, because I'm curious about it, because it really does. It deals with a male who's raped, which is something that you don't really see or hear that much on TV, let alone in films or anywhere. So then I got Fern Gully: The Last Rainforest. It was brand new, unopened. This is just a movie. There's no features on it or anything. And I'm okay with that, because I haven't seen the film in years, and mainly this is a wish list item because I wanted to get this for whenever I got around to reviewing more animated movies. And that's actually coming up pretty soon. After I get done reviewing a mini George A. Romero movie marathon, which will start out with Martin, and then I will review Monkey Shines and The Dark Half. After that, I will do a mini horror anthology marathon, which starts out with Creepshow, and then I go to Creepshow 2, and there's a few other titles like Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, Creepshow 3, XX, Tales of Halloween, Body Bags, Necronomicon, Cat's Eye. I'm just trying to get all my anthology films that I want to watch out of the way, and some of the ones that I'm kind of not really that interested in that much. But I think it would make for an interesting video reviewed as well. Really, I'm doing XX as a contrast to kind of show people that horror anthologies still get made today, and it also shows you that it's still one of the hardest things to get right, because XX is a terrible film, and it's a pretty awful horror anthology, and it came out this year. So it shows you that the cycle, not really necessarily the cycle, but the difficulty factor is still very high. So I want to kind of have a compare and contrast thing where I can show people this is an example of a horror anthology that does it right. This is an example of a horror anthology that does it wrong. And I'm saving some others for some other time, like Tales from the Crypt and Tales from the Vault of Horror and some of the 70s Amicus horror films and a few other horror anthologies that I have. But mainly I want to kind of get the ones out of the way that I really want to see again and I would like to talk about. So that's what will be coming up after the mini Romero marathon. And then interspersed in between some of that stuff, you might see Talking Cinema episodes, you might see updates again, you might see some other things. You'll see a special unique sort of video I'm planning on doing on my Batman Animated Series box set, because apparently it's a bootleg, but it's the most impressive bootleg I've ever seen. So and I will talk more about that in depth in an upcoming video. And I would have to say also, and forgive me, I'm kind of a bit stuffed up a little bit. I don't know if I'm coming down with anything or whatever. It might just be allergies, or it might be my allergy meds wearing off. I don't know. But after, interspersed between that kind of stuff, talking cinema and mini rants and stuff like that, and the Batman animated series box set video, I will do like reviews of stuff like Atomic Blonde, Kidnap, and the Belko Experiment. I know it's a pretty full plate. That's what I have planned for the rest of the month, and if I get around to starting the anime and animation stuff by the end of the month, I will do that as well. Also, I will be starting school. I will be attending WSU Vancouver on the 21st of August. So, and I have a class every day of the week, and I got this really wonky schedule, and I got like a 2.5 hour long bus ride and all this other kind of stuff. So, you might see less videos posted, but you might not, because I'm going to really try hard to at least, I'm going to try to make it work. I don't want to just have, and I don't want to overwork myself because I have 4 classes and I'm going to school full time, but also at the same time, I don't want to forget about you guys. So it's not going to be one of those instances where you're not going to see stuff from me. I'm going to try to record stuff way ahead of time. I got some reviews that I've already recorded ahead of time for a different sort of mini marathon that I'll do in the future. But yeah, after all that other stuff I mentioned, I'm going to get into the anime and animation stuff. I'm going to be going back and forth between anime and traditional animation. So I'm going to be reviewing an anime movie like Akira, and then I'll be reviewing an animated movie like Fire and Ice, or Flight of Dragons, or Aladdin, or a Goofy movie, or Beauty and the Beast, or Fern Gully, or that kind of stuff. So it's going to be anime then animation until I watch and review all the animated movies that Jonathan sent me. That's really the plan, and I review the animated movies that I've been wanting to talk about and review for the channel for the longest time, like a Goofy movie. And I'll probably review an extremely Goofy movie too, because why not? But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that while it was on my mind. I know that was a pretty good chunk of this update, but it's also it's a little bit of a vlog, a little bit of a vlog too. Give you guys a little update of what's coming next. The rest of these are all titles that I got from the Kino Lorber sale. Kino Lorber had a recent sale to celebrate their new website, and so I got all of these brand new for super cheap. So I got these on DVD, these ones, because I bought a couple Blu-rays. I'll show those when I get to the Blu-rays. But I got these on DVD because these are new transfers, okay? New transfers that are remastered on DVD. When you put them in a Blu-ray player, or you have a nice flat screen TV, I haven't really noticed that big of a difference between them and the Blu-ray. Like, there probably is a considerable difference if you're the type of person who really looks for that kind of thing, but I don't think it's that big of a drop-off, especially if you have an upconverting, the ability to upconvert the picture quality with your Blu-ray player, and I have that. So the DVDs get upconverted to 1080p. So there's not much of a drop-off, I've honestly noticed, with a lot of these newer DVDs. Older DVDs, absolutely. Some of them are just, they look like crap. They look like absolute shit on the Blu-ray player upconverted. Other ones look great. And I kind of want to let people know about that, because DVDs seem to have this stigma associated with them lately from collectors. Like, oh, Blu-ray is just so infinitely times more superior than DVD. And in a lot of ways, if you get something like this, just the movie, The Challenge, upconverted, from the DVD to HD on your TV, it's not really going to look bad. In fact, it's going to look really good, because it's a remastered print. I mean, that's just what I have noticed personally, and I think it's a bit underrated. You can save some money. You can save a good chunk of change if you decide to get the DVD over the Blu-ray when it comes to stuff like this, because at least the Kino releases, they port over all the features from the Blu-ray, so you can get the DVD and pay less money, but you can still get a good transfer and all the features, if there are any. So I got The Challenge with Scott Glenn, which is just a movie, but it's cool. I got one complaint about Kino Lorber though, and this carries over to their Blu-rays as well. Great job with the cover art, looks great. Absolutely piss poor job with the spine. This looks lazy. It looks ugly. It sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. Like, look at this just generic fucking font, black spine. All of them look the same. Maybe they just want to differentiate themselves from everyone else's DVDs or Blu-rays. Regardless of the fact, it just looks like shit. It looks like a hack job to me. And the back looks a little bit kind of chintzy too. All of Films kind of have the same problem, but All of Films, at least, I would say All of did a better job with the Boogans. The Boogans has the cover art, but it also has the font on the end and a little bit better structure on the back. It's like it looks like there was actually more professional effort put into it. This looks great in the front, not so great in the back, and looks terrible from the side. So I'm glad to have it, and I'm glad to have these, but it's a nitpick of mine, and it just seems like they're being a bit lazy. River of Death for the Michael Dudikoff collection, which I have quite a few Dudikoff films now. I don't really know. I think I might be done with the ones I want on DVD, because the other ones that I might like to get, they're not officially available on DVD, like The Human Shield. Avenging Force, which this has all the same features on the Blu-ray, the commentary track and all of that. I got America Mile, the DVD, which has all the same features from the Blu-ray. It's got the commentary tracks, it's got the interviews and all of that, and then a new transfer. F.I.S.T. with Stallone. I'm really glad I finally have this film. I've been trying to get my hands on this movie for the longest time. And this has the featurette on there, as well as a theatrical trailer and the new transfer. Or a similar transfer, but it's still probably better than the original MGM DVD. So that's the Kino Lorber DVDs that I got. I paid about $50, because of shipping and all of that, for those, plus the 2 other Blu-rays I got. Now we're coming to the Blu-rays, and then that'll be it for the video. I'm going to start out with these 2. These are screeners that I got from a headmaster of a blog that I'm volunteering for. He sent me Brain Damage, the Arrow video release. It's a screener, but it should have all the same features and everything, so it should be good. He also sent me Wolf Guy. So I got a screener of Wolf Guy, and he wants me to review that, so I will be watching that fairly soon and reviewing it for my channel and also on the blog. So I will also put a link in the video description down below for the blog, so you can kind of check it out. I've written a few things on there, so if you're curious about seeing or reading some of the stuff that I've wrote on there, go right ahead. And the rest of the Blu-rays are, I got Lone Survivor, mainly because actually my stepdad got it for me. It was at the Salvation Army, and everything was 50% off. So this Blu-ray was normally $4, so it was like $2. And it actually was like $5 or something, but it was still pretty cheap. And this has it has a Blu-ray and a DVD, and it's in pretty good shape. So, and I've heard some good things about this, so glad to pick that one up. And then FX from Kino Lorber on Blu-ray, and FX2, which I wanted to get because the DVDs I have of these, the prints, especially the print of this film, is not very good. The original MGM DVD print for FX is absolutely terrible and kind of hard to watch. It's one of those widescreens that's not really, it doesn't really fill the whole screen, or it doesn't really, it's made with some old technology, so it looks all squeezed, and you have to like press zoom in on the TV to really get it to, yeah, it looks terrible. King Solomon's Mines is another one that has a picture like that I'd like to upgrade sometime, the 1985 film. But FX2 looked okay, but I was like, if I'm going to get FX, I might as well get FX2. And they were like $10, so it's a pretty good deal. Actually, it was $8.99 or something. So it was a good deal for these. So that is it. That's it for this update video. Unless you want to see, I think I've showed this already in another video, but this is a little bit better lighting. Freddy's Nightmares, the series, the bootleg Blu-ray that I got, which is it's pretty cool. It's got both seasons on it. So, I don't know what else to say, except thank you for watching. Thanks for watching this DVD and Blu-ray update with a little bit of a channel update. Hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I will see you guys later. See ya!